The voices never stop, do they? That relentless mental chatter that follows you from the moment consciousness hits in the morning until you finally escape into sleep, if you're lucky enough to sleep at all. Some nights, you lie there negotiating with your own mind, like a hostage negotiator, begging for just 5 minutes of silence, 5 minutes without the replay of every mistake, every fear, every what-if that haunts your existence. You've tried everything. Meditation apps that gather digital dust, self-help books stacked like monuments to your failed attempts at peace, positive affirmations that feel like lying to a mirror that knows all your secrets. Yet here you are, scrolling through another video, hoping maybe this time someone will say something that actually breaks through the noise. Marcus Aurelius once wrote in the darkness of his military tent, surrounded by death and chaos, "Confine yourself to the present." Simple words from a man who ruled an empire while it crumbled, who lost child after child to plague, who knew that tomorrow his own generals might betray him. If anyone had the right to drown in negative thoughts, it was him. Instead, he discovered something that modern psychology is only now catching up to. Your mind's torture chamber only exists because you keep returning to it. You feel it right now, that tightness in your chest, that familiar companion called anxiety whispering its poison. Maybe it's the bills that multiply like cancer cells. Maybe it's the relationship that's dying in slow motion while you both pretend everything's fine. Maybe it's that crushing realization that you're not who you thought you'd be by now. Whatever demon owns your thoughts, it's turned your mind into a battlefield where you're always losing. But what if everything you've been taught about fighting negative thoughts is backwards? What if the very act of combat is what gives them their power? The Stoics understood something revolutionary. The mind that creates the prison is the same mind that holds the keys. They didn't promise happiness or comfort. They promised something far more valuable: unshakable inner sovereignty, regardless of external chaos. Today's journey isn't about toxic positivity or pretending your problems don't exist. This is about ancient warfare tactics for the battlefield of consciousness, strategies so powerful that emperors and slaves alike used them to maintain sanity in conditions that would break most modern minds. 5 specific techniques that don't require you to be special, enlightened, or even particularly strong, just willing to try something radically different from the mental slavery you've accepted as normal. Fair warning: this isn't comfort food for your ego. Some of what you'll hear might initially make you angry because it challenges the victim narrative that negative thinking thrives on. But if you're truly exhausted from being your own worst enemy, if you're ready to stop being a passenger in your own mind, stay with me. Like this video now if you're done being mentally tortured. Subscribe if you're ready for actual change, not just temporary relief. Don't you dare skip ahead. Each principle builds a fortress that the next one stands. Share this with someone drowning in their own thoughts. Comment this declaration: today I reclaim sovereignty over my mind. Now let's dive in. Number 1. Your mental revolution begins here. Epictetus was a slave. Let that penetrate your modern problems for a moment. A man who could be beaten, sold, or killed at his master's whim discovered more mental freedom than you've ever experienced with all your physical liberty. His secret? A concept so simple it sounds insulting to our complex suffering. Some things are within our power, while others are not. Right now your mind is bleeding energy, trying to control the uncontrollable. That person who won't love you back, uncontrollable. The economy that threatens your security, uncontrollable. Your body's aging, other people's opinions, the past that haunts you, the future that terrifies you, all uncontrollable. Yet you're spending your finite mental resources trying to negotiate with reality itself, and reality doesn't negotiate. Every negative thought loop you're trapped in exists because you're fighting a war you've already lost. You're standing in the rain, cursing the sky for being wet. You're punching the ocean and wondering why your hands hurt. The thought arrives. They disrespected me. Your mind immediately launches into revenge fantasies, imaginary arguments where you finally say what you should have said. Hours dissolve. Energy evaporates. Nothing changes except you're more exhausted than before. But watch what happens when you apply the dichotomy. They disrespected me. Outside your control. Your response to that disrespect, completely within your control. The shift isn't semantic, it's seismic. Suddenly, you're not a victim of their actions. You're the author of your response. They threw the stone. You decide whether it breaks you or becomes part of your foundation. This isn't passive acceptance or doormat philosophy. It's strategic resource allocation for mental warfare. Every moment you spend trying to control what you can't is a moment stolen from controlling what you can. Your thoughts, your actions, your responses, this is your empire. Everything else is foreign territory where you have no jurisdiction. Practice this tomorrow with the first frustration that arises. Traffic jam. You can't control it, but you can control whether you use that time to listen to something valuable or marinate in rage. Someone's mood ruins your morning. You can't control their emotions, but you can control whether you let their storm become your weather. Start small, but start immediately. Mental freedom isn't granted. It's taken, one conscious choice at a time. The brutal truth? Most of your suffering is optional. You're just too attached to it to let go. But when you truly grasp what you can and cannot control, negative thoughts lose their throne. They become suggestions, not commands. Number 2. Where your demons have no power. Your suffering lives in time travel. Every ounce of mental agony you're experiencing right now exists because your consciousness has abandoned the present. You're either bleeding from wounds that have already healed or drowning in oceans that haven't even formed yet. Depression pulls you backward. Anxiety drags you forward. Neither can survive in the raw immediacy of now. Seneca, who counseled emperors while facing his own execution order, wrote, "Every new thing excites the mind, but a mind that seeks truth turns from the new and seeks the ancient eternal truths." He wasn't talking about nostalgia. He was revealing that the eternal only exists in this moment. Past is memory. Future is imagination. Now is the only reality where actual life happens. Feel your breath right now, not later, not in theory. Right now. That sensation is the only thing that's actually real in this moment. Everything else, your fears about tomorrow's meeting, your shame about yesterday's failure, that crushing weight of what if, they're ghosts. Powerful ghosts, convincing ghosts, but ghosts nonetheless. They only exist because you keep resurrecting them with your attention. You've been programmed to believe that constantly analyzing the past will somehow fix it, that obsessively planning for the future will control it. But you've been analyzing and planning your whole life. Are you fixed yet? Are you in control yet? Or are you just exhausted from fighting battles in timelines that don't exist? The negative thought appears. I destroyed everything with that decision 5 years ago. Your mind immediately teleports to that moment, replaying it with director's commentary of everything you should have done differently. Your body doesn't know you're time traveling. It releases the same stress hormones as if the tragedy is happening right now. You're literally poisoning your present with expired venom, from a moment that exists nowhere except your memory. Or the anxiety strikes, what if I lose everything? Your consciousness rockets forward, playing disaster movies of potential futures. Your nervous system activates emergency protocols for emergencies that haven't happened, might never happen, probably won't happen the way you're imagining, even if they do happen. You're having heart palpitations over fiction. You're writing in real time. Meanwhile, the present moment, the only moment where you can actually do something, change something, be something, slips away unnoticed. You're so busy being somewhere else that you're nowhere at all, a ghost haunting your own life. Here's the practice that changes everything. When negative thoughts flood in, ask yourself, what problem do I have right now? Not tomorrow, not in an hour, not in 5 minutes. Right now, in this exact instant. Usually the answer is none. You're sitting here, breathing, alive. The catastrophe is imaginary. The emergency is manufactured. This isn't denial or delusion. Real problems require real solutions. But most of your mental suffering isn't about real problems. It's about possible problems, past problems, imaginary problems. The present moment isn't an escape from reality. It's the only place reality actually exists. Number 3. The weapon that turns fear into power. You've been running from your worst fears your entire life. The Stoics ran toward them. They called it premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. While everyone else was desperately trying to think positive, Marcus Aurelius was deliberately imagining losing his empire. Seneca regularly spent days living as a beggar despite his vast wealth. They weren't masochists. They were mental warriors training for battles before they arrived. What is quite unlooked for is more crushing in its effect, and unexpectedness adds to the weight of a disaster, Seneca warned. Therefore, nothing ought to be unexpected by us. Translation: your fear of the thing is almost always worse than the thing itself. Right now, you're carrying a backpack full of fears you've never actually examined, vague terrors that whisper but never fully speak. What if they leave me? But have you actually visualized it through to completion? Not the dramatic moment of departure, but the day after, the week after, the month after. Have you honestly asked yourself, then what? Because here's what happens when you truly examine your fears instead of just feeling them. They shrink. That catastrophic ending you've been avoiding might be painful, yes, but it's rarely the existential annihilation your anxiety promises. You'd survive, you'd adapt, you'd eventually rebuild. Humans survived ice ages, plagues, and wars. You'd survive a breakup, a job loss, or social embarrassment. The exercise is precise. Take your biggest fear, the one that makes your stomach clench just thinking about it. Now, instead of pushing it away, invite it in. Visualize it happening in detail. Don't dramatize, be clinical. What would you actually do first? Where would you sleep? Who would you call? What would day 3 look like? Day 30? Day 90? Something profound happens when you do this. The amorphous cloud of dread transforms into a series of practical problems with practical solutions. Losing everything becomes, I'd need to find a cheaper apartment and probably sell my car. Terrifying. Perhaps unsurvivable? Hardly. But negative visualization isn't just about fear, it's about gratitude. When Seneca slept on the floor and ate stale bread, he wasn't punishing himself. He was realizing that even his worst-case scenario was manageable, which made his actual life feel like abundance. Every night back in his bed became a gift rather than an expectation. Try this tonight. Visualize losing something you take for granted. Your health, your home, someone you love. Feel the loss fully. Then open your eyes and realize you still have it. That anticipatory grief transforms into explosive gratitude. The thing you barely noticed this morning becomes precious because you've tasted its absence. This isn't morbid thinking. It's preparedness that dissolves anxiety. When you've already mentally survived your worst fears, what can daily worries do to you? When you've practiced loss in your mind, actual loss doesn't blindside you. You've been there before, if only in consciousness. Your negative thoughts torture you because they're undefined shadows. Negative visualization forces them into the light, where you can see them for what they really are, survivable inconveniences masquerading as apocalypses. Number 4. The view from above, your cosmic reset button. Zoom out until you disappear. Marcus Aurelius practiced this mental exercise while commanding the bloodiest campaigns of the Roman Empire. Watch the stars in their courses as though you were accompanying them, and continually dwell on the changes of elements into one another. He wasn't escaping reality. He was seeing it from a perspective where his massive problems became appropriately sized. Right now, you're drowning in a glass of water. That argument with your partner feels like the end of the world because your world has shrunk to the size of your living room. That mistake at work feels catastrophic because your universe has contracted to the dimensions of your office. Your perspective has become so microscopic that a pebble looks like a mountain. Pull back. See yourself from above, sitting there with your phone or computer, one person among 8 billion. Pull back further. See your building, one structure among millions. Your city, a dot on the map. Your country, a shape on a sphere. Earth, a pale blue dot in an infinite void. Your terrible, horrible, no-good day is happening on a rock, hurtling through space at 67,000 miles per hour around a ball of nuclear fire. This isn't about making your problems meaningless. It's about giving them accurate proportions. From space, you can't see borders that cause wars. You can't see the social hierarchies that torture you. You can't see the mistake you made last Tuesday that you've been replaying like a broken record. You can see reality, a brief conscious being on a temporary planet having a fleeting experience. The email that ruined your morning? In cosmic terms, it's subatomic. That rejection that's been eating you alive. The universe doesn't even register its existence. Those people whose opinions keep you awake at night. They're equally temporary specks on the same dying rock, worried about their own insignificant anxieties. Suddenly, your negative thoughts reveal themselves as narcissistic delusions. You've been assuming the universe cares about your drama, that cosmic forces are personally invested in your failure, that reality itself is conspiring against you. But the universe isn't hostile, it's indifferent, and that indifference is your liberation. When astronauts return from space, they describe something called the overview effect, a cognitive shift that happens when you see Earth from orbit. Suddenly, all human conflicts seem absurd. All anxieties appear manufactured. They return unable to take seriously the things that once consumed them because they've seen the bigger picture, and it's changed everything. You don't need a rocket ship. You have imagination. Tonight, when negative thoughts attack, don't fight them on their level. Ascend. Rise above your life like you're watching a movie about someone else. See your current crisis from next year's perspective. View your worst fear from your deathbed's vantage point. Will this matter in 10 years? In 1 year? In a month? The Stoics called this the view from above, but it's really the view from reality. Your normal perspective isn't normal. It's zoomed in so far that you've lost all context. Your negative thoughts thrive in this claustrophobic close-up because they can convince you they're everything. But from above, they're what they've always been: temporary weather patterns in consciousness, no more permanent than clouds passing over a mountain. This isn't spiritual bypassing or avoiding your humanity. It's recognizing that you're both the temporary human having problems and the eternal awareness observing them. You're both the actor in the drama and the audience watching it. When you can hold both perspectives simultaneously, negative thoughts lose their grip because you see them from a distance that reveals their true size: infinitesimal. Comment this perspective: from the stars, my problems are stardust. Number 5. Amore fati, the ultimate mental alchemy. Love everything that happens to you. Everything. Nietzsche called it amor fati, love of fate. But the Stoics lived it first, when Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." He wasn't offering platitudes. He was revealing the most radical mental transformation possible, turning everything, including your worst experiences, into fuel for your growth. This is where most people revolt. Love my trauma, love my failures, love the things that broke me. Yes, not because they're good, but because they're yours. Not because they're pleasant, but because they're irreversible. Not because you wanted them, but because fighting reality is the source of all suffering. Every negative thought pattern you're trapped in exists because you're rejecting something that already happened. You're having an argument with history and losing. You're demanding the universe give you a different past, and the universe doesn't do refunds. Meanwhile, the present, the only moment where change is possible, slips away while you're busy filing complaints with reality's customer service. But what if everything that happened to you was supposed to happen? Not in some mystical, predetermined way, but in the sense that it did happen. Therefore, it had to happen, because here you are living with the results. What if your wounds were your wisdom? What if your failures were your education? What if the things trying to break you were actually trying to wake you up? The person who betrayed you taught you discernment. The job you lost freed you from a slow death in a cubicle. The relationship that ended saved you from a lifetime of settling. The illness showed you what actually matters. The rock bottom became your foundation, not immediately, not obviously, but eventually if you let it. This isn't toxic positivity or victim blaming. Terrible things happen. Injustice is real. Pain hurts. But you have two choices. Let your negative experiences become negative thoughts that create a negative life, or transform them into the raw materials of your evolution. Suffering without meaning is torture. Suffering with meaning is growth. The practice is alchemical. Take your worst memory, your biggest regret, your most persistent negative thought. Now find one thing, just one, that you gained from it. Strength, wisdom, empathy, clarity, something. Hold that gain in your mind. That's the gold hidden in your lead. That's the gift wrapped in thorns. That's why it had to happen, to give you something you couldn't have gotten any other way. Amor fati doesn't mean being passive or accepting abuse. It means recognizing that everything that already happened is now part of your story, and you can either let it be a prison sentence or a plot twist. Your negative thoughts are trying to rewrite history. Amor fati accepts history and asks, how can I use this? When you truly embrace this principle, something miraculous happens. You become anti-fragile. Not just resilient, anti-fragile. Everything that happens to you makes you stronger because you've learned to metabolize all experience into growth. Negative thoughts can't survive in a mind that transforms everything into fuel. They're like shadows trying to exist in a mind that's become the sun. This is the ultimate rebellion against suffering, refusing to waste a single experience, including your worst ones, especially your worst ones, because those are the ones with the most power to transform you if you stop fighting them and start using them. You now possess 5 weapons against the tyranny of negative thoughts, not theories, tools, not philosophy, practice. The dichotomy of control frees you from fighting unwinnable battles. The present moment anchors you where problems can actually be solved. Negative visualization defangs your fears by facing them first. The view from above reveals the cosmic insignificance of your daily drama. Amore fati transforms your wounds into wisdom. These aren't just Stoic concepts. They're mental technologies that have survived 2 millennia because they work. Emperors used them to rule empires. Slaves used them to find freedom. You can use them to reclaim your mind from the negative thoughts that have held you hostage, but knowledge without action is impotent philosophy. Starting tomorrow, starting right now, pick one principle and practice it. When the negative thoughts come, and they will, you'll no longer be defenseless. You'll be armed with weapons that have defeated suffering for thousands of years. Your mind has been your enemy long enough. It's time to make it your fortress. If this message has armed you for battle, like this video now, subscribe to become mentally invincible. Share this with someone drowning in their own thoughts. You might save their life.